Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be taking a look at an older omnibus. This is Justice League International Volume 1. It was kindly suggested to me by a viewer who was interested in this title and in this superhero group. It's done by DC, of course. Justice League International, I believe, was the first spin-off title of Justice League of America. Prior to that, we did have the Justice League Detroit era during the early mid 80s, but I think in title of actual Justice League Justice League International in this case, was the first time that it happened. These came out, I believe, 1987. Here's the book itself. It's just kind of a cast cover, if you will, of all the characters. The writing was done by both Keith Giffen and J.M. DeMatteis, and art by Kevin McGuire. This is a big book. Look how thick that is. Here's the spine. And here's the back. The cover is a wraparound cover. It does collect Justice League 1 through 6, Justice League International 7 through 25, Justice League America 26 through 30, Justice League Annual number 1, Justice League International Annual number 2 and 3, Justice League Europe 1 through 6, and Suicide Squad issue 13. So there's quite a bit here. If I take the cover off, we see that it's a big wraparound cover, slightly different than what we see on the slipcover. Well, not the slipcover, the dust jacket. Here's the first page here. We get some credits, another splash page there. More credits. This was published in 2017. Now, and then you have an introduction by DeMatteis. This is, I'm understanding, is a problematic release. Apparently, the art is not the quality that people were expecting. It sounds like that the art was not, I don't know what the term is, scanned correctly, published correctly, printed correctly. There's a lot of controversy out there about this first edition, as well as some typos, some pages that have been reversed, some empty talk balloons, speech bubbles, whatever you want to call them. Supposedly DC fixed this with a second edition, so be aware of that. The only problem is you won't know if you got a second edition unless you buy it and take the shrink wrap off and then look at the fine print with the credits. So there's no way to tell. This is the first edition, and I don't know. It's nothing's really bugged me about it. I don't have hard feelings about it. Let's put it that way. I'm not that worried about it. Here we have the first issue, and like I said, when I first saw this, I was interested, because even though they hadn't called it Justice League International yet, it was a new Justice League. and a new Justice League title. And I had not seen a new Justice League title before, so I thought, I'm interested. I'm going to pick up a copy and see what it's like. Obviously, a whole new cast of characters. The only team member from the original Justice League America is Batman. My understanding, if you read the introduction by Matthias, he does state that when they were tasked to do Justice League International, that they could not use the main members of the Justice League because they were involved in other storylines and things like that. But Denny O'Neil, the Batman editor, took pity on him and said, okay, you know what, you can use Batman as a member of your team. So that's why they got Batman in there. But as you can see, it's Batman, Captain Marvel, or Shazam as he's called nowadays, Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, Dr. Fate, Dr. Light, Oberon, Booster Gold, the Ted Kord Booster Gold from Charlton Comics that DC had acquired, Mr. Miracle, Black Canary, and Martian Manhunter. This came out in May 1987, and each issue has the cover and then the credits of what's contained in there. I am not sure that I am the biggest fan of the art. I think that the facial expressions are done really well, but it seems to me that the art is a little too on the cartoonish side for me. I don't know what it is, but facial expressions are great. I mean, you can just see Guy Gardner's rage here, and I love the interplay between Batman and Guy Gardner. Guy Gardner is depicted as such a hothead, and Batman is not in the least bit intimidated by him and is able to intimidate him just by the things that he says and how he acts towards Guy. Of course, Guy's got an ego, and we'll see what happens with that later. I remember this issue when the League went to Russia. This is, of course, the 80s, so that's back in the Cold War. Here again, we have Batman telling Guy Gardner to shut up. The characterizations in Justice League International are very good. That's what I enjoyed about it. It really wasn't your typical superhero stories. The characters became very well developed. There was a humor there, and it just all seemed very natural. It seemed like the characters were acting the way they would if they were actually in that situation, and just even when they're hanging out, it just seems like they're having fun. There's some bickering because of Guy Gardner. Booster Gold joins the crew. Here they are fighting the Royal Flush Gang. It is, to me, I liked it. It was different than your average superhero book. I don't remember the annual at all. I don't think I got that one. I like Booster Gold. He was a new hero at the time, and I kind of got a kick out of him and Skeets. I don't know that Booster Gold really made it big, but he was interesting. I liked the Blue Beetle. I wasn't aware of Blue Beetle's history with Charlton Comics, but I liked him. He's a good character. The page quality is actually really nice. It's smooth, glossy paper. Uh, it's it's not bad at all. I think it's good quality paper. This one I remember most of all. Finally, we have Guy Gardner just completely breaking down and losing it with Batman. And I remember this issue so well because he finally has this explosive confrontation with Batman, removes his power ring, and he's going to take Batman on man to man. No super abilities, nothing. He's just going to beat Batman up. And Batman takes him out with one punch, knocks him unconscious. Uh, I got such a kick out of that as a teenager. It just tickled me, and the reaction of Blue Beetle was hilarious. Black Canary was hilarious. She couldn't believe she missed it. Good stuff. Stuff you just, again, you didn't really see in the regular comics. Had this one. I liked Doctor Fate as well. They had the Creeper there. I had this one as well, Justice League International #7. This was a larger content issue. Justice, and they got Maxwell Lord in here. Uh, who knew that Maxwell Lord would end up becoming a supervillain later, controlling Superman, and Wonder Woman would actually have to kill him to stop him. That's what amazed me later, and you had no clue when this was going on. Uh, I This was one of the titles that I believe this one in particular, issue #8, was the last one that I bought of Justice League International. It was late 1987. I'd already graduated from high school, and I was just getting out of comics. I wasn't really collecting them anymore. Uh, life happens. Life carries on, and I was doing other things. So I'm not sure if this was the last title that I collected, but it certainly was one of them before I got out of comics. I didn't really get into them again until a few years later when I was in college, back in the 90s. So it's nice to be able to have this omnibus and be able to read the issues that I missed. And that's what I like about the omnibus, is that they collect this stuff. I don't know if there are any real keys in here. I don't think Justice League International really lasted that long. Let's see that. Yeah, that's August of 1988. So it did continue through the 80s. Again, I don't know about the art. I think it's you love it or hate it. Although that's not true, because I don't really hate it, but I'm not sure I'm that fond of it. I suppose it's a product of its time. It's just something that you'll have to get used to. Maybe you don't like it at all. I don't know. Let me know. Is this something that you like the artwork? Think McGuire did a good job. I like this. Oberon meets Darkseid in his living room. And it's funny, if you look at the book here, we only see a partial title, but you can tell what it is. Darkseid is reading the book Mein Kampf by Adolf Hitler. Uh, it seems fitting that he would read something like that. Just a little bit of a joke by the writers. I think it was an interesting concept, Justice League International. Maybe ahead of its time. I mean, now I know they've got and they've had different League Justice League spin-offs. Uh, so do a lot of other titles, DC and Marvel. Different titles of same characters and what have you. But this was a try to do something different. It worked for a while. Oh, they got Huntress in here. I've always liked the Huntress. I never thought she got her due as far as characters go. Huntress was cool. Here we have a cover where they've copied the movie poster The Exorcist. And that was back in June of 1989. And I was definitely out of comics in June 1989. I just wasn't there. So these are all things that I missed. But I don't have to miss it anymore. They changed the title to Justice League America. So it went from JLI to JLA, not Justice League of America, just Justice League America. And then, when that finished, they started with this, Justice League Europe, the very first issue of Justice League Europe. Missed it too, but you know what? I must have gone into a comic store or something during that time, because I do seem to remember that cover. Now, Justice League Europe still had the same writers, Giffen and DeMatteis, but the art was by Sears and Marco. So we lost McGuire. Geez. I'm not sure I like their art. It's okay, I guess. It's just funny because the hairstyles are very 80s. Captain Adam here looks like he's got some kind of mullet or something. I don't know. Did any of you enjoy this series? Like I say, it didn't. I don't think it lasted very long. The what I do like about Justice League International and its characters are indeed the characters. It was like, I hate to say lower tier characters, but they were, and it was nice to see them having their own title and just having fun. The regular superhero stories seem to be, full action, soap opera, a thriller, but these seem to have fun with their stories, which I didn't see a lot of in the mainstream books. I really don't like this art. Only extras you've got are, it's like the who's who of these characters. You've got an afterword by writer Keith Giffen, a history of Justice League International. This is probably from Who's Who, DC's Who's Who as well. Another Justice League International. You've got the floor plans, if you will, of the Justice League International Embassy in Metropolis. Here's a poster from 1987. I do not know what issue or where this poster came from. It doesn't say. I like this splash page here. It doesn't say at all where this came from. Maguire and Drew, I can't even pronounce the last name, did the art, and not bad. Here we have an alternate cover for Justice League number 3 that was used for a limited newsstand release. This is a cover to Justice League International, The Secret Gospel of Maxwell Lord. And we have another artwork by Kevin Maguire. Justice League International Volume 2 cover by Kevin Maguire. And Justice League International Volume 3 cover by Kevin Maguire. The extras are limited. They really are. I don't think they ever did. They come out with a volume 2? Maybe they did. I think they did. I never collected it though. Like I said, it wasn't my main choice. Once I got out of Justice League International, I just never got back into it. Price-wise, this went for $100 back in the day for cover price. It's still in print. It's still easily available. You can get a copy for cheaper than cover price very easily. Do I recommend this? If you're a Justice League fan, yes, because this is part of the history of DC's Justice League. If you're new to DC Comics, I would say probably not, because you're going to find a bunch of characters that you're not familiar with, and it's older. Like I said, it's from the 80s, so it's going to reflect that era. So I'm not sure a newbie, this would be a good place to start. Again, with the problems of this first edition that I've read about and learned about, if you can get a second edition, that would be better. But like I said, the problem is, how do you tell? And you can't. So good luck if you're trying to get a second edition. I hope you can. And the errors though, are really hard to spot. So for me, I'm keeping it. I'm not getting rid of it. I'm not looking to buy a second edition. I'm satisfied. So appreciate you watching. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye.